I was able to completely replace my entire sales team with these four types of pieces of content on YouTube. Let's get into it. My name's Satis Hudson. I'm an online business coach and marketing consultant, and I've made over $2 million online. People want to learn and they want to buy, so it's whether they're going to buy from you or not. YouTube is a secret game changer that you need to install into your business if you want people to know, like, trust you, and respect you way faster. So let's get into it. YouTube has completely changed the game for me. I no longer have a sales team. I don't have setters. I'm the one that anybody is talking to in the DMs, and I'm closing all of my sales, and honestly has never felt so light. These four types of content are going to allow you to not only draw in new attention, it's going to allow you to convert those leads a lot faster, and then ultimately close them into your 5, 10, 20, 30, $50,000 plus coaching packages and services, all because you're focused on nurturing them and pre-selling them before they even get to you. So let's dive in. I always say this, and I've talked about this before, but what you need to understand is that each YouTube video that you create is like $100 deposit into your business. The deposit is way larger and the interest compounds way faster over time. Just kind of like the more you put into the stock market, the more money you'll have coming out of it because it's compounding interest over time. And when I think about other platforms, they're necessary, right? And I think about Instagram. Instagram content is important. Instagram content is like a $10 deposit into your business. The economy needs both bills, right? We need both and they play different functions. But at the core, right, if I had to focus on one platform, if I wanted to skyrocket and quantum leap my business, right, I'm choosing the $100 deposit every time. So I'm in the season right now in my own business to be focusing and putting my attention on YouTube. And after I've been on YouTube consistently, mostly consistently for the last year, and I've sold dozens of 4 and 5 figure mentorship spots and made tons of digital product sales and rebuilt my brand. And so YouTube has been the biggest part of that. If I put this pencil here and this pencil here, and this pencil over here had even just 30 YouTube videos, and we look the same, we act the same, but this pencil had 30 YouTube videos talking about their experience, their their authority, their process, and how they became a pencil, right? And how they got their results of being a pencil. This pencil up against this one's going to win every time. So when I think about you in the marketplace, if you are the one against your competitors and you're demonstrating your competence longer, more consistently, and you're allowing your audience to find and binge on you much quicker, it's going to collapse that time and they're going to choose you every single time. Even if you sell local, like if you're a local business, this all works, okay? Because at the end of the day, people more than ever want to feel connected to you. Number one is awareness. It's top of funnel. If you're looking at a funnel, right, the most amount of people are going to come in at the top. So lead generation is super important. Awareness content is meant to make people aware that you and your brand even exist. YouTube isn't what my company relies on to generate leads. Okay. So for some of you, it might be, but I actually don't think you should rely solely on YouTube to generate you leads. There are better tools for that. Okay. We always want to find the best tool for the job. Now, it is a plus that YouTube is a search engine, et cetera, right? YouTube is going to naturally have people find you. And that's the beautiful, like, byproduct of it being a search engine. But we use YouTube to focus on the other 3 content types I'm going to talk about in a second. But what I want you to understand is this isn't its primary function, but it does serve a job, okay? We use Instagram ads primarily for lead gen and threads right now. Lead generation is a necessary part of online business, and that type of content is going to reach a wider net, right? So for me and my niche, my industry, I can speak to coaches and creators and agency owners, local businesses by saying the ultimate guide to starting a YouTube channel. That is a perfect example of awareness content because all businesses can start a YouTube channel, okay? So that is a broader scope. It's a little bit more mass market, and it makes sense for my industry. So use that as you wish, the ultimate guide, how to, the blueprint, et cetera, the secret, on easy mode. Those are all going to be like more mass market and more awareness types pieces of content. Okay. And these are actual titles on my YouTube. So you can go search them if you don't watch the videos, and I'll link them below too. Number 2, this type of content is really important when we think about the funnel in the middle because less people are going to get to the middle of the funnel. And this is actually how I use YouTube. Is the next 3 really is really how I use YouTube from a place of reinforcing our ideas, our beliefs, our philosophies, our values with the people that find us through our ads, our threads, and then even YouTube. Okay. So you need this middle content. Too many people focus on going straight to selling and they forget that you don't even like, it's kind of like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You know, it's one thing to have 2 pieces of bread, right? You have lead generation and sales, but what about all the nurturing and engagement that needs to happen in the middle? That's where 2 and 3 come in. So activation content is really meant to make your audience feel something. It's making them feel connected to you. It's making them trust you. It's making them realize that you're also human too. You make mistakes. You've went through stuff. You've learned, right? And you're giving your philosophies and mindset. You're giving your respective thoughts on things, okay? You can think of this as like the mindset piece at the surface, but in reality, it's really about who your audience, needs to become. It's the brand building piece that's like probably one of the pieces that most people can't explain, but I've finally been able to explain it. It's the identity shift that needs to happen, okay? From who they currently are to who they want to be. So it's you talking about beliefs, habits, thoughts, locking in, whatever that looks like for them to become the person they need to be. Whether it's a person with a healthier body, saying no to things, right? It's a person with more money, understanding that you can't continue to hang around people that are low vibe or people that are constantly bringing you down or people that want to be a victim. It's those types of conversations that you're having in this content. I like to do this content. I need to do more of it. I like to do it in my car because that's my own personal safe space. So that content really resonates. It really just hits when I'm in my car. So you can look up on my channel, being the best kept secret on the internet will make your business grow. That is not, I'm not giving necessarily any tangible tips from a place of like step one, step two, philosophy-based thoughts, and talking about who you need to become in the process to deserve the lifestyle and the business that you want. Okay. So that's going to be the activation content. You're activating a new being and identity in your audience. Okay. And you're speaking directly to one person. Number 3 is authority. Okay. So this is your traditional, like how to content, how I content. And honestly, if you could take it one step further, how I content is actually really powerful. This content is meant to show instead of just tell. It's one thing to say how to, it's quite another to say how I. You need a combination of both. Your authority online, y'all, doesn't come from certifications. It doesn't come from letters after your name. It comes from lived experience. It comes from you documenting the process, turning the camera on when you are experimenting, and also giving your people a plan. Say you're a fitness coach, okay? You need nutrition, okay? But what's the right type of nutrition for them? What's the plan, okay? You want to give them constantly, and you want to figure out your unique methodology and your plan and be able to explain it 100 different ways. You want to pick apart the nutrition, that's a plan. The fitness, that's a plan. The mindset, that's a plan. Your journey, that was a plan. You helping another client, that was a plan. There's so many frameworks and processes inside a larger framework. That's what you want to be making content on. Like I said, it comes from your lived experience, okay? And a lot of people are like, oh, Latice, I really struggle with content. I'm always like, go back to what you did to get to where you got, okay? And speak in terms of like, what do your people really want? As a fitness coach, you could say how I lost 50 pounds in 6 months without Ozempic. That would be a beautiful how I authority content because it's showing that you did it. It's also showing that you have the experience, you have the lived experience, and you're demonstrating and you're showing them the plan that you took. Okay. That's how people feel so connected. And it's kind of like a lot of, just showing the journey instead of just showing the end result. So for me, one of my best performing authority pieces of content that has converted into clients is how I sell 10 to 20K clients without sales calls and instead with Google Docs. Number 4 is the classic case study, but I also added a little bit of extra. This is bottom of funnel, and this is where sales happening. So 2 and 3 is really where you're pre-selling. Okay. You're building that trust. You're building that respect, all of those things. Number 4 builds onto that respect, and it kind of seals the deal essentially. If you do 2 and 3 really, really well, y'all, you don't actually need a lot of number 4. Despite what the gurus want to say, that's going to speak for itself. Case study and social proof content is what reinforces your ideas, processes, systems, and frameworks by leveraging other people's voices and or your interpretation of how you help somebody get results. So this gets people to say, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. But it's also kind of like confirmation bias. That's the one. So similarity and confirmation bias together. It's confirming that if they see it, if they could do it, I could do it too. This could be interview style where you're interviewing your client, or it could be you breaking down, okay, how I help little Jimmy over, lose 30 pounds and get ready for his wedding. Okay, cool. Super dope. Break down how you did that. And it's similar to authority content, but you're using a real life case study. You're breaking it down. And I would say, obviously, if you have words from your client or a little clip, throw that in there, of course. But you can do both. For my clients, Becca, we talk about her 275K cash year using my leads on autopilot system. And then I have another one that talks about how another client created 30K in sales using my pop-up Q&A strategy. So pulling out parts of your offer and talking about how that one part really reinforced them to get results. At the end of the day, okay, every piece of content you make on your YouTube channel should have a strategic, high return on investment function. Random content is out, strategic content is in. Historically, when people have tried to make YouTube work in the past, they were focused on vanity metrics like views, subscribers, etc. And those things used to matter, and they still matter to a degree. But what you have to understand in 2025, if you are flipping how everybody else is teaching it, views, subscribers, and you just understand how to generate that for yourself, you're growing your email list using threads, using ads. And I talk about that in another video. If you can nail lead generation and then you understand how to distribution is key. Okay. How can you get in front of people's faces as quickly as possible, especially people that already know, like, and trust you? And now you just have to get them to respect you to consume, because the more they consume from you, right? The more that people consume from you, the more they trust you. If somebody keeps consuming content from you, they clearly, either they're like the smallest percentage, they're a hater, but most likely they want to learn from you. They want to buy something from you. So when you put out an offer, and I'm gonna drop my workshop below, it's called Sell Anything at Any Time. When you put out an offer to sell anything at any time, they will buy from you. So maybe they're not ready to spend 20 grand on your high ticket, but they'll spend $1,000 on a self-study course, or $500, or 10,000 on the VIP day, right? So they've consumed enough information. This is how, when you see these coaches that are like, oh my God, I just had a 100K launch with barely any effort. That's not true. They've been giving long form value, and not just, and I want to shout out to Alan Satanic. He talked about this in one of his Facebook posts recently about, like, if everybody just focused on nurturing, everybody would be million. Any content creator who is consistent would be millionaires. It's not about nurturing. Okay. It's not just about nurturing, right? You're not a mom to them. You are there to get them to engage. And when somebody engages with you, they buy. When they consume, they buy. So you have to create content in these 4 types, especially on YouTube, to get people to click and get people to stay. These 4 content types have been proven. Okay. I've signed dozens of clients from YouTube. When I launched Car Share Academy back in 2019, sold 20 spots like that, sold out immediately, because I had been, unbeknownst to me, doing these types of content. But now I understand what I actually is doing and can put a name to a face and teach it to you guys. Okay. So if you can do these 4 types of content, the bag is sealed. And now you have this content working for you for literally 1, 2, 3+ years that you can recycle, rinse, and repeat with your clientele. I was listening to a podcast on my walk this morning, by Ed Milet, and he talked about, it's not about constantly creating new things for new people. It's about taking the old things and getting that in front of new people. And this is where, when you nail lead gen and you can distribute, like I just said, you've won. Okay. And this is where you're going to crack the code. It's about taking your core concepts, putting it into buckets so your brain can, like, synthesize how to create this content. Like, I'm giving you all a plan, and then distributing it across the board. You're creating a high perceived authority. It's kind of given white coat syndrome, and that authority will make you instantly stand out. Like I talked about with the 2 pencils, that authority is going to make you stand out way more than your competition. Okay. Like, I don't look at anybody else's competition. For one, there's barely anybody in my space doing it consistently at the level that I'm creating. So it's not about fancy editing and all of that. It's about the quality and the context of the information and the transformation and the type of content that you're giving with a strategic ROI on the back end. Okay. So you lower the time and you lower the cost to acquire a customer. And at the end of the day, in 2025, 2026, and beyond, that's how you're going to win. Your YouTube is your real life Netflix experience, and they're going to binge and consume when they get ready. The only job that you have is to have the Rolodex ready for them to consume. Okay. You put the content out there, you distribute it, your people that are ready to solve their problem right now will buy. Too often we're spending time on people that are not ready. When you flip the switch and you focus on people that are ready, everything's going to be a game. You can't make people buy when they're not ready, but you can put the content out there for those that are ready when they're ready to buy. And then that is how you collapse the time. Okay. Below, I'm going to drop my workshop called Sell Anything at Any Time. That's going to teach you how to use your assets to sell anything at any time and help you understand the level of simplicity that you get to bring into your marketing and sales system. Okay. So if you love this video and you're like, Latisse, I'm ready. I want to get to the next level. I want 30K, 50K, 100K plus months. I want to do it in a way that aligns with my lifestyle and allows me to spend time with my family. That doesn't burn me out, but that gives me an ecosystem so that I can sell anything at any time and also sell my core offers out every single month without having to do sales calls. Spend hours and hours and hours. Like, I'm talking dozens of hours on social media every single week. DM me with the word info over on Instagram, and I'm going to send you how we can work together so that you can either generate leads on autopilot and or build out the ecosystem that works for you, where you're only spending, 7 to 10 hours a week on your marketing and you're bringing in the amount of revenue that you know that you want and deserve. Okay. So if you're an agency owner, you sell high ticket services, if you're a local business and you're just ready to get to that next level in your income, send me a DM with the word info and I'll break down exactly how we can work together and really how I enroll anywhere from 5 to 20 clients a month using this exact framework. So if you found this video helpful, definitely like and subscribe and give me a comment below. Which type of content did you find the most helpful? What are you going to start creating? And let me know. I want to see your YouTube channel. I hope you found a lot of value in this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.